Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I have a video for you from Judge Sam Meyer in Washington. He is hearing anti-harassment orders this morning, and he has got Nutty Norbert in his court. I'll leave it at that, and I'll roll the clip and let you guys watch.
Ms. Bowen, this is your petition, although I may hear from, it doesn't look like your Mr. Bowen is listed as a petitioner. So I'm going to swear you in. I'll hear from you. And then if you wish me to have me hear from Mr. Bowen, I will do that. And then I'll hear from Mr. Holscher. And then following that, I'll make a decision as to whether or not an order should be entered. So could you raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
You can put your hand down. And how is it you need an order against Mr. Holscher?
Well, sir, he's been harassing me for several years. It all started when we both worked for the Attorney General's office years ago. And he started putting complaints into me with my management. And anyway, since then, he was let go from the Attorney General's office back in, I believe it was 2013, and I have not seen
I know,
him.
and I read his response. He said he retired, but I'll give him a chance to respond. And I'm just letting you know, Mr. Holscher, I did read that. Go ahead, Ms. Bowen, continue on.
So anyways, I have not seen him or spoken to him since then. Up until last Thanksgiving, got a phone call, and he called twice that day, which I proceeded to block him. And then he somehow got my husband's phone number as well and started calling him. And he also blocked his cell number, but it still shows up as unknown caller. So we have both switched it over to silence unknown calls, but he is still able to leave voicemail messages. So since last Thanksgiving, it has gotten worse and worse and worse, what he's calling multiple times a day. And the voicemails that he's leaving.
So hang on just a second. So he says, again, these are the examples, you know, you're dead, you're effing dead. Retards get their heads pounded in.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control your wife. You're going to effing pay for it. And then that's just kind of a sample. Are those, what are those? Are those examples of voicemails?
Yes, sir, they are. And
okay. Continue on. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So with that being said, he's just constantly calling and leaving just horrendous messages. We have not responded at all. And he did say that, you know, he Googled, that's how he got our phone numbers. And I Googled myself at that point, and, you know, everything's on there. But anyways, it's just progressively gotten very much just worse to where, you know, he's saying that, you know, you're dead. And the most recent is right before he got served was that pretty much wait until he gets his car fixed. Hey, Al, you're effing dead. Okay, buddy, you're dead, Al. And it just goes on, and it just won't stop. So we want the phone calls and the harassment to stop.
You know, he had said that, and I'm gonna hear from him in a minute, and then that you had contact in Las Vegas or some such thing. What was that?
I've never seen him in Las Vegas.
Okay, and then I'm gonna hear in from Mr. Bowen, and then I'll hear from you, Mr. Holscher. Mr. Bowen, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Let me hear from you. What's your position on all of this?
My position is I've never met the guy. He calls and he speaks like he knows me. And anyways, I just want I'm a superintendent for a construction outfit. So I take all the phone calls because I don't know who could be calling me, you know, school districts, architects, engineers, and things like that. So I would answer the phone, and the minute I would answer the phone, it would be John speaking all of this just kind of odd things to me. So I finally got to the point where I just had to block him because I'm tired of picking up the phone and getting kind of, they're the same messages over and over and over. And they're always, here's my phone number, call me. So I guess we can, yell at one another on the phone. Then they've become, threatening and all this stuff. Anyways, and it's puzzling because I've never met the guy. And I know nothing about him anyway. And then lately now they've just gotten worse and worse, threatening to beat people up, kill us, you name it. We got all the records of all the phone calls. So anyway, that's what we just want it to end. I've never had to deal with anything like this.
All right, Mr. Holshirt,
Yes, Your Honor.
could you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your response to you can put your hand down. What's your response to what you've heard?
Well, have you read my response documents?
I have, yes.
Okay, so I don't need to reiterate those.
Well, I do want you to address one thing, because I asked Ms. Bowen about it. She said, in your responsive document, said she stalks me in Las Vegas. She says, I don't know what he's talking about. So why do you think that?
Because I saw her stalking me down in Las Vegas.
I mean, what do you mean? Did you just happen to see someone that was her, like in a casino or something? Or what?
Yep.
What did she come up and talk? This person come up and talk to you or call you or what exactly?
She was following me in her car, and she came up behind me, and then she drove by me, and I saw it was her for sure.
In Las Vegas?
Yes.
You never had any personal contact with her?
Not in Las Vegas, no.
So, what about these phone calls? Or well, actually, let me back. When did that happen? The Vegas thing?
It was when I retired from the Attorney General's office. So
So like a couple of years ago?
Probably about 2014.
Okay. So what, and then have you seen her since then?
Just when I've seen her stalking me.
She's following you around?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But have you had any interpersonal talk to her?
I tried to, it's expressed. I called them on Thanksgiving. I called Al. I talked to him. I was being very polite. And he said, "You're lucky I don't come over there and pound your head in. You're just a little pipsqueak." I was being very respectable, asking him to kindly have his wife please stop stalking me. That was the only time I had a voice conversation with him directly, as opposed as what he's stating. Every time he would pick up the phone, I would be on the phone calling to talk to him. I only spoke with him over the phone one time. So the following voicemails, I was asking him to please have his wife stop stalking me. And that was the purpose of each and every call. And I gave him my phone number. I wanted to speak to him man to man. He would not call me back. So that's why I pursued. I was never asked not to ever call them again. I was trying to have his wife stop stalking me. That was the intention of my calls. So I told him if he's not going to call me back, then I will call his wife and ask her to stop stalking me. So every time I left a voicemail with her, I was asking her to please stop stalking me. That was the legitimate intent of each call. Purpose.
Okay. On Ms. Bowen, I'll come back to you. Anything you wish to respond to what you just heard?
Yes, there is. It's all, that's just all lies. I haven't talked to him since he was retired. We're tired of being called retard, chicken shit. I have fetal alcohol syndrome. We're pathetic. We're losers. I'm disgusting, grotesque. I'm a retarded fat pig. My husband is a effing punk bitch, fag wimp. And I could go on and on and on. And we do not respond to any of these. Nothing that he has said is true. So he keeps telling my husband to say, tell your wife to get off me, leave me alone. I haven't seen him or talked to him in over 10 years. So I don't know where this is all coming from.
Okay.
Back when he was harassing me at the office, at the AG's office, we had 2 meetings, and to confront what he was telling my manager I was doing to him. And when during the first meeting, I think it was the HR person said, do you have anything to say? And he goes, I have nothing to say. So when confronted, he won't say anything. So anyway, when we moved to the Tumwater building, we were placed on separate sides of the office. And there was one point when we were at the other office, when all this happened, he was asked that we not talk to each other unless the supervisor is present. And that very day, when my supervisor left for lunch, he came around the corner and said, Stacy, can we talk? And I said, absolutely not. And anyways, I thought it was over years ago. I don't appreciate him threatening that my husband, you're dead. I don't like that at all. And where he's saying, if she wants to commit suicide, just tell her to do it. I'm not going to be her scapegoat. She wants someone to kill her. I have all of these on voicemails. I contacted the Tumwater police numerous times. I do have a case number for that. He did come over last Saturday. He took a lot of the voicemails that Mr. Holscher has left. So I do have a case with the Tumwater Police Department.
All right. So, Mr. Holscher, and then were you served by personal service, Mr. Holscher? Did someone come to your place and deliver you these documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not sure what's going on. We have, when you sit in this position, I have to listen to testimony. I listen to both sides, and sometimes two people are speaking, both of them are saying things, they both can't be true. So I have to sit around and decide, what's happening, what's not, and that's just based on testimony. And I'm not sure what is happening, but what I'm very confident that is not happening is that Ms. Bowen is not stalking you. And I think somehow that you have it somehow in your belief system that is happening. It is not. It just is not. And so I'm going to sign an order. It's going to exist for 2 years. You're not to have any contact with her at all. And that includes, even though he's not a petition, if you contact Mr. Bowen for the purpose of getting a hold of Ms. Bowen, I think a lot of people would consider that a violation. Do you understand that? So you need to realize she cannot be a part of your life. You just have to let this go and move forward. And again, there's no evidence whatsoever that she is stalking you. That is just not happening.
Can I give can I contest that at all with my opinion on your judgment?
Your opinion.
On your judgment?
Your opinion's well stated in what you filed. But in terms of, again, what the hearing is, I'm making a finding is that that did not happen based on her testimony. I'm also making a finding that the contact that, as described on the record and in the file, in terms of the recordings on the voicemail, as well as things you said directly to Mr. Bowen, that is harassing. That's very harassing to these individuals, and it needs to stop now.
I did not say I was going to Al Bowen. I was
Okay,
asking him.
okay, that's fine, but you said you said some things, and again, that apparently that's been referred to the police department. That's going to be dealt with there. What I'm signing, any contact, any telephone calls at all, even close to what I mean, it's harassing. People don't want to be called about this sort of thing, particularly when it's unjustified and not true. So again, the order says you're not to do that. And if you call them or contact them, you will be in violation of this order and you'd be subjecting yourself to additional trouble. I need you to understand that.
Sir, the direct threat was taken out of context. My context was, in most stalking cases, what happens is one person ends up being, and I said, do you realize that may be what happens? One of us may end up being. That was my intention of the only threat I gave them.
Okay. Do you understand? I don't think you understand. Well, first of all, you should understand how disturbing those comments are to everyone, and me, and I'm sure the Boeings. That's incredibly disturbing. Because, and the other thing is, what I want you to understand is the parameters of this order, and what, again, all I can do is enter this order, and there's definitely a showing that this order is appropriate, and I'm going to sign the order, and for the next 2 years, you're not to contact them at all. Do you I need you to understand this.
Per your definition of the RCW, it said without a legitimate purpose. My legitimate purpose was to have the stalking dismissed. That was my legitimate purpose. And the only threat I made was taken out of context that one of us may end up being.
Do you understand you are not to contact them? And I've made my ruling. I've done this order. Any ruling I make here is subject to appeal. You're welcome to appeal it if you wish, but this is the finding that I'm making today based on what's been presented today. Do you understand this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. That'll conclude the hearing. And then you can get a copy of this off the Thurston County District Court website, and the Bowens can be done the same. And if you have an email address there, Mr. Holscher, you can, a copy of this will get sent to you.
Okay.
And I really hope you take to heart, probably not as much as the Bowens hope, the parameters of this order. They're not a part of your life.
I don't want anything to do with them.
Then we're all on the same page. Great. You're free to leave, and then you're all free to leave the Zoom call.
Thank you, Your
And
Honor.
again, this order is for 2 years.
Thank you.
I'm going to use a line from Miss Kinsley, but this guy has filled all the bowls with Cocoa Puffs. He is Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. This woman is not following him. And even if she just happened to be behind him at a stoplight in Vegas 10 years ago, why would he start calling now? And why would he leave the messages that he's left, saying that this will only end in one of our demise? I mean, that's what, I'm trying to put myself in her position, and I wouldn't leave my house without protection, whether that be, a highly trained furry friend, like a German Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois, or something stronger. But I would not leave my home without protection, because this man is off his rocker completely. Anyway, yeah, for me to put myself in her position, this really creeps me out. I would be very afraid. So I completely agree with this order of protection. I'm glad that he's giving it to them, both of them, really. And hopefully, through the court system, they will force him into some kind of, mental health help, because he needs it. He definitely needs some mental help. Unfortunately, this judge can't do anything about that. In a criminal court, they can, and hopefully they will. So anyway, that's my advice to them. If they happen to see this, do not leave your home without adequate protection. That's all. That's the advice I would give them. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.